So if you guys watched my last video, you know that I'm running into transmission issues with the S13. And I've tried doing some troubleshooting, and I've pretty much come to the conclusion that we have to pull the transmission out. I think it's something internal that just isn't lining up right, which is explaining why it is stuck in reverse, even though my original problem was that I couldn't get it into reverse. But either way, the guy that rebuilt the transmission for me told me if I could just remove the transmission, he will go ahead and take care of it and fix it. And as much as it is a bummer that we're being held up from drifting because of transmission issues, you know, I've come to accept that it's life, and you know, things don't always go as planned. And I'm a lot more happy than I was yesterday when I realized that I was gonna have to pull the transmission, because if you recall, before when we took the engine and trans out, we had decided to go ahead and just drop the subframe and engine with the transmission attached to the back of it. And yeah, it kind of made life simple in terms of pulling everything out at once. And I was assuming that we were going to have to do the exact same thing to get the transmission off. But no, it's pretty well known that it is extremely difficult to get to the bell housing bolts that attach the transmission to the engine. But something that I've recently learned is that it is not that difficult to get to all of the transmission bolts that hold the transmission to the back of the bell housing. And with the help of some handy dandy long extensions here, I was able to get to all of the surrounding bolts. There are two that are tucked up on both driver's and passenger side that were pretty difficult to get to, but that was no match for Alan and his super long extensions. Now the hard part is already done, that being I have already gotten all of those bolts loose and basically disconnected everything that needs to be out of the way for me to drop the transmission, including the Y pipe and the drive shaft. And I've also disconnected the clutch lines. So all that's left to do is the easy part by using this new transmission jack that I picked up from Harbor Freight this morning and getting this sucker off. Now I am a one-man team today. Drift Dad unfortunately can't be here. So hopefully I don't run into any issues, but knowing me, we're probably going to run into issues. There you have it. I was able to get the T56 out by myself. Of course, I wouldn't have been able to do it without that nice Harbor Freight jack. Although it was a little bit too tall for the transmission to slide out from underneath it, I transferred it to one of the Harbor Freight dollies, and sure enough, rolled right out. Now I didn't mention, but I did have to remove the O2 sensors on each of the headers, just for clearance purposes. But yeah, it wasn't all that bad. But you could see here, now that the transmission is in neutral, you see I have that play in here from side to side. I can't even get, well, what? The main shaft is spinning now. That's weird. But here, let's put it in first. Okay, here's the problem. It's locked up and won't even spin whatsoever. And back in neutral, we're spinning again. So yeah, something internally is locked up. Maybe one of the shift forks or whatever, I don't know. But if you see right here, this is where you would typically have a reverse lockout solenoid. So if I remove this little piece is from RDE. I don't know what the RD is for, but I know the E is for engineering. You can see that all it is a little pin with a spring on it that butts up against the plate that allows you to go into reverse. And because I don't have any of the electrical connections to get the actual solenoid to work, this is what I'm using in the meantime. And it basically just makes it more difficult to shift into reverse when you're going from fourth into fifth, because reverse is all the way to the right and up. Alright, so then now the game plan is to take this transmission to Orlando, where the guy lives who can basically repair this thing. So we'll go ahead and get on our way. Of course, after I wash up. All right, so I've made it to Orlando, and I had just dropped off the transmission with Eric, the guy that's doing the work. He says it should be a simple fix. So hopefully, you know, he'll get it done relatively quick so that maybe sometime next week I can have the car ready to finally get tuned. But while I am in Orlando, my friend actually said that he needed an S13 rear subframe, and because I had removed the one off of my S13, because it had a stripped diff mount, he said that he wanted it. So I'm gonna quickly drop it off, and then we will be on our way back home. You guys might actually know my friend, then again, you might not. I don't know. All right, so I'm back from Orlando here at the beach because I do enjoy spending any free time that I have at the beach. I'm here with Victor and my boy Michael, and we're gonna do some skimming.
Yeah, oh, the beach. This is a bathtub.
So pretty much this is where the video is gonna end. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.